Another example of guideline scenario question. Love this example. How many of you know a lender who can do manual underwrite on a conventional loan? As expected, Sunwest can do manual underwriting on a conventional loan. California, right? We live in a high county limit. A lot of FHA loans will not go that high. There are lenders out there who will do manual underwrite on FHA, but if you need manual underwrite on a conventional loan, you can upload your credit report, your DU result here into Angel AI and ask if this loan qualifies for manual underwrite. If yes, there you go. Now you have a home for that loan. Send it to Sunwest. Loan keeping, like I mentioned, you can do A to Z through Angel AI. You can literally go into Angel AI, ask for your custom link, send that link to your borrower. Your borrower completes the entire application based on a chat-based platform. Prepare your initial disclosures, take a look at the loan estimate, send a loan estimate out to the borrower, or if your borrower is not in contract yet, you can do TBD underwrite and get the loan completely underwritten and then have your borrower go into contract. You can do change of circumstance, lock loan, you can even upload and clear conditions if you have a loan with Sunwest Pipeline. I originate loan myself. I only do it for my friends and family. And my borrower sent me a condition at 6 p.m. while I'm about to have dinner. In a typical scenario, I would have waited until the next day, go to the office, upload that document, submit that file for a document for underwriting, and the following day, you would have received an update, right? But when I received that document at 6 p.m., I opened Angel AI app, uploaded the document. I didn't even need to know what that condition was for. All I received the document, I uploaded that into Angel AI, told her, clearly conditioned. By the time I was done with dinner and I was ready to put my son down, condition was clear. The loan was restructured based on the additional income that was on that document. My loan was removed from suspense and it was conditionally approved by 9 p.m., same evening. And I sent a text to realtor, we are good to go. You can remove loan contingencies. Because I was saving that deal from another lender. That's the power all of you will have by using Angel AI. You're no longer dependent on the business hours. You're no longer dependent on somebody to help you, to walk you through, to upload conditions. There are systems where it requires you to submit minimum number of conditions, and then after you upload those conditions, you have to push a specific button to submit those documents for review. None of that applies here. Just upload it and you're done. And if you need to talk to an underwriter or if you need to brainstorm some ideas, like I mentioned, just ask AI, have somebody call me, and you'll receive a call. And if you need processing, Angel AI can help you process the loan too. Any questions about loan keeping? Oh, great, yeah, go ahead.
A big question on like data security. So how do you ensure that, or where does the data actually go when you upload it to Angel AI?
Good question. Data remains with Angel AI unless you're submitting that loan for underwriting to Sunwest, then it's shared with Sunwest. When you access Angel AI, the terms and conditions are on the main page. You can go through that. Question back there? Yes. Okay, all right, no worries. Yes.
When you were to upload a document that maybe you didn't have, or that you reviewed really carefully, now it's this kind of ones, because you were in the middle of dinner and kind of just submitted it.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that question.
If you were to upload a document that was very fancy, wrong document.
Oh, wrong document.
Yeah, wrong document.
Good question. What if the wrong document was uploaded, right? Was that the question?
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay, great.
Inappropriate document.
AI is smart enough and will let you know, hey, this document is not related to this borrower. Now, it depends on how you're using AI, right? the way I use AI, the cool part about the tool is that you can have different chat windows. You're not limited to one chat window, okay? Like ChatGPT. So you can keep your chats organized. You can have a chat window for your general question. You can have a chat window for marketing. You can have a chat window for that specific borrower. So if I upload that document to that chat window, AI will say, okay, yeah, this document doesn't relate to this borrower, but it's gonna search the pipeline. It might say that, hey, this loan is for Suresh here. Would you like me to upload this document to this specific loan and get it reviewed? And I would say, yes, go ahead. Does that answer your question? No?
I think Suresh is asking if you upload a document that may hurt the file. Does that-
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Delete.
I jeopardize the loan.
Well, we all know what happens in that case, right? If there is a bank statement which shows large deposit and you don't want to use that, just upload a different one. All right, next question. Yes.
Will there be different language for model to communicate?
Will there be different language?
Instead of design
Is the question that will there be different language for the borrower when they interact?
I mean, you will have to set up a example of maybe for you to put it on other channels. Will there be a different language for them? Design English?
Yes. Yeah. So whoever is interacting with Angel AI, they can have their own language mode open. Did that answer your question?
So there will be an option for like borrowers to select what language.
Yeah. When they go into Angel AI, they can choose the language they want to interact with. Yes. Or they can simply just start typing that language and Angel AI will understand. Or they're speaking in Spanish or Hindi or any other language. Yes, sir.
We have more lenders come along, or it's only SunWest for now? Are you going to plan to add more lenders to follow this AI?
As of now, only SunWest. I'm not sure about the future. Maybe. Yes.
Will AI do loan processing like we using CloudExploit or Encompass, or just like regular enter information and it will tell us a DDI, or can AI replace Encompass or replace CloudExploit?
In a way, yes. The question is, can AI replace Helix or Encompass? Those are all loan origination system, right? You don't need that if you're using Angel AI. You can take application, you can follow up on your file, you can restructure the file, you can ask AI, like I mentioned, to do income calculation, and after the loan has been underwritten, you can also ask AI to follow up on the conditions with your borrower. So your borrower will receive a message from Angel AI that these are the documents you need to upload to move forward with your file. So it can do A to Z.
So when we go to CloudExploit or Encompass, we have like print form and sign. So AI also produce those forms for the buyer to sign initial disclosure, like
Yeah.
all the disclosure and loan accident and everything. in AI?
Yes. So the question is, will Angel AI send the disclosures for signing? The answer is yes. It will generate the entire initial disclosure package. It doesn't use any third-party vendors for e-signing. It has its own homegrown e-signing app called AI Sign, which will be sent to the borrower for signing any documents. Yes, sir.
Is the AI agent tied to you, the user, or to the loan? Like in your example, where you uploaded the condition, and then was that interaction with you, or then say there's a processor also working on the loan? Does the agent then contact the processor simultaneously as one of the owners of the loan?
Good question. So just to repeat the question, if a user like myself, when I was interacting on my loan, and if there's a processor involved as well, will there be any communication with the processor? So the response is that it will be a user specific. So you as a user, when you interact with the Angel AI, it's between you and Angel AI that interaction remains. Now you can do a group chat. You can add processor to that group chat. So anytime you're doing any interaction about that specific loan, your processor will be in loop too. Angel AI will only take instructions if you are authorized person on that loan. For example, if you're the loan officer, if you're the processor, or the additional contact, only then Angel AI will make changes to the loan. If you are somebody else not associated with the loan, for security purposes, it would say, I'm sorry, we cannot change the rate that you're asking me to change the rate for. Yes, sir.
Who's doing the underwriting? AI or real person?
So, good question. Who's doing the underwriting? Angel AI does most of the underwriting, or 80% underwriting of a file is done by Angel AI, and then a human gets involved and does the final sign off, right? Because a DE underwriter or actual underwriter needs to sign off on conditions on the file. That's where a human gets involved. Let me give you an example. Not an example, but a true statement. SunWest has tripled the volume from the beginning of this year. So 2025, our volume has gone 3x. We have not added one additional underwriter. It wasn't the case where all underwriters were just sitting idle. They were super busy previously, but because we implemented Angel AI, we are still next day turn time. We are still super quick on our conditions review. Power of AI, and more loans underwritten, like you saw in that graph. Okay, good questions, thank you. So in addition to origination, and when it comes to marketing, it's a really, really good tool, and like I mentioned, it's absolutely free to use. You can create a free professional website for yourself where you can share that with your buyers. You can have that in your email signature if you would like, and the buyer can go in there and submit application, and then you will be notified through Angel AI that you have received a new application. You can create a listing web page. So those of you who are realtors, you can create a free listing web page. Angel AI domain has a high traffic. So when you create your listing web page on Angel AI domain, you get more exposure to your listings. And we all know more exposure will result into more inquiries and a faster sale of that property. If you're a loan officer, you can create listing web page along with your realtor. So on the same page, you can have both of your information. So when a buyer comes across that listing web page, can reach out to you to start the pre-approval process. You can also list loan products. I haven't seen any other listing web page where you can have multiple loan products. So a buyer, when they go to a listing web page, they can see, oh, there's a rehab product available. So if this property needs some rehab work, I don't have to come in with money for the repairs. Or you can show a down payment product. So the buyer will be more encouraged to call you and say, okay, I see you are offering DPA product for this specific property. How do I qualify? You won't get those kind of inquiries from other listing web pages. So I highly recommend for any active listings that you have, create listing web pages. Loan officers, if you're talking to your realtor partners, talk to them and get listing web page created. There's a huge marketing library. If you need flyers, social media posts, you can ask Angel AI to create one for you, customized with your contact information, with your picture. And the most loved feature, lead prospecting. Angel AI has a call center of actual people who will call your prospect on your behalf for free. No cost involved. You can literally upload any category of lead. It could be expired listing. It could be people you're targeting for purchase, or maybe they live in 1-bedroom home and maybe you want to target them to maybe have them buy a 2-bedroom home. So you get 2 transactions, sell their current home and have them buy a bigger home. Or the borrowers who went MIA. Or for loan officers, if your file got declined previously, you couldn't help those borrowers. Have Angel AI call on your behalf and start the process again to see if they qualify, if something has changed, or if you can manually underwrite those loans. Because there are overlays with some other lenders, and I know one of the lenders has a cutoff at 580. They won't go below 580. Angel AI can underwrite loan down to 500 FICO and FHA, manual underwrite. no overlay. So if there's a 500 score FHA borrower wants to do a cash out and you ran due and you got approval at 56.99%, you're good to go. They'll get cash out up to 80% LTV with that score.
I have a question.
Yes.
For the lead prospecting.
Yes.
Is it going to be like a computer voice or a live person?
Good question. So it's not a computer voice that's calling your prospects. Like I mentioned, it's an actual person that's calling your borrower. When you upload your leads, it'll be scrubbed through DNC, so you don't have to worry about that. It gets assigned to an actual person to call. Those individuals are bilingual. They speak English and Spanish. All of them are here in this country, no outsourcing. And they'll call non-stop on your behalf. So while on a work day, you're here at a conference, those people are picking calls on your behalf and setting up the appointment. And when they get hold of an interested prospect, they'll do a live call transfer to you. You can also record a voicemail in your own voice and upload that into Angel AI. So when those individuals read the voicemail, your recording gets dropped. So if you upload 1,000 lead, all those 1,000 prospects are thinking that you're calling them. So when they return call, you get all those inbound calls. Yes, sir.
What about the data, basically, that we're uploading, potential contacts?
Mhm.
What is the security knowing that you're not gonna sell that to another loan officer or to another company or whatever?
Well, if we do that, it's going to ruin the business model, right?
I'm just
They won't
asking.
survive. It's a valid question, right? It's your data. I respect that. It stays secure. It has passed through all the compliance checkpoints. It's not getting sold to anyone. Nobody's calling on your behalf or other loan officer calling on your leads. Okay, here's another example of a listing web page with the loan products. All right, let's talk a little bit about Credit Boost. Let's see how much time I have. Okay, cool. Another great feature. There are so many credit challenged borrowers who need help, but the vendors out there, the price they charge, it blows my mind. Some of them charge as much as $200 per trade line to help the borrower fix their credit. They are struggling with money in the first place, and you're charging this enormous amount of money. Makes no sense. So if they have low FICO score, let's say their score is 480, you couldn't help them because the minimum is 500, right? For FHA loan, you can begin Credit Boost for those borrowers by sending them to Angel AI, have them start the Credit Boost process. There's a one-time fee of $75 for the soft pull, postage, and mailing cost. That's it. One-time cost, no matter how many trade lines they have. They can begin Credit Boost process. They can dispute any and everything on their credit report. They can pick the account, whether it's inquiry, collection account, charge-off, bankruptcy. They can literally check the box, whether it's a TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax, and they can type in their explanation. I don't remember this late, or this account never belonged to me. Angel AI will draft that letter and will mail it out to the creditors. It'll start harassing the creditors. Remove that or fix it. Remove that or fix it. That's the most tedious part in credit repair. There are numerous success stories where the borrower's FICO score has gone from 500 something to 620 to 645, and we all know with better FICO score, better lending terms. Question?
That's a lot of stuff,
Absolutely.
but I bet it doesn't do dishes.
My wife is waiting for that. Or for me, probably. Another powerful tool, TBD Underwrite. So you can get your loan completely underwritten and get a warranty on underwriting. That's huge. Because we have seen in our lending experience, if you upload a file and you get loan underwritten, there might be a case that at the 11th hour you get a call from underwriter like, oops, sorry, I made a mistake. I should have asked for a pay stub, or this document I missed. Can you help me out with that? And when you provide a document, A, it causes frustration. B, if something changed, now you're restructuring that file and the borrower may not qualify anymore. So when you get your loan underwritten through SunVest and Angel AI, you get a warranty on that underwriting. Those are the conditions, that's it. You won't see any new condition pop up. That will never be the case with SunVest. When your borrower goes into contract, you continue where you left off. And if you get all those borrower conditions cleared, you get true approval, thoroughly reviewed and underwritten loan. With true approval, you can remove loan contingencies on day one. So you never have to worry about realtor calling you. Can we remove loan contingencies? How many of you love that call? Or realtors? Would you like to call your loan officers and ask that question? No, right? You would rather have that peace of mind that this buyer is truly approved, this transaction will close, and we will all make our paycheck on that. When you get your loan underwritten through SunVest, TBD, when your borrower goes into contract, you can take that loan to any lender of your choice. You're not obligated to stay with SunVest. But at least you would know that your borrower truly qualifies, especially for multiple job changes, manual underwrite, or their complex income scenario. Get those loan underwritten and have that peace of mind. And go to any lender of your choice. And if it doesn't work out, you have a home for that loan. Here are some of the SunVest niches. We go down to 500 FICO on FHA, VA, no FICO score streamlines. We do non-QM. We have no overlays on any of our Govy agency product. So whatever handbook requires, that's what we will underwrite it with. Rehab loans, whether it's a 2 or 3K, home style, choice, USDA. We do second liens. We do non-traditional trade line. We have a DPA product down to 580 FICO, no income cap, no first time home buyer restriction. So a lot of products that you can use Angel AI to get your loan underwritten. And there are some unique products with us like HELOC DSCR. So it's a DSCR product with adjustable rate, no prepayment penalty. Typical DSCR product has 1 to 5 years of prepayment penalty. Your borrower has no prepayment penalty. They get 3-year draw period. It's a first lien product, 3-year draw period. They can pay off the loan, borrow again, pay off the loan, keep doing that for the first 3 years. And then it becomes fully amortizing loan. No minimum DSCR ratio. In California and high cost area, we know rent will not cover mortgage payment. Those investors are struggling to buy a investment property, great tool for them. No seasoning either. So if they bought a property all cash today, tomorrow they can do this DSCR product and get 75% cash back. Another unique product, Edge Ahead. It's an equity share, non-QM product. Investor will match borrower's down payment, give them higher purchasing power so they can qualify for their dream home. We allow bank statement, full doc on that. I know I'm running short on time, but a lot of other cool products, blockchain. We have Angel Twin. We have points that you can earn, which we can convert into crypto tokens and earn some money there. And there are a lot of other cool products coming up too, like, yeah, here's an example of our user growth. This is outdated. As of we have 250,000 users actively using Angel AI. Does anyone know how many loan officers are out there? The count? I know it used to be 400,000 something during COVID or pre-COVID. Now the count has dropped down to 90,000 approximately. Those are the active loan officers in our country. So who are these other users? Realtors, underwriters, processors, borrowers. So get on Angel AI today, because we all have heard that myth that Angel AI is going to take away our job. We all know that's not true. Angel AI will not take away our job, or AI will not take away your job, but another loan officer or realtor using AI tool will definitely take your job. So you want to be on the right side of the chain. Start using AI today. It's absolutely free to use. We do one-on-one training with as per your schedule. So you can sign up for a training, and we can do training as often as you like. You can do training 2 times, 5 times, 10 times. We don't care. We have a huge army of Angel AI experts that will walk you through and help you how to use Angel AI, get comfortable with it. You can do lead prospecting, underwriting, guideline, any question that you have, create your landing page, marketing materials, and your twin, everything. And here are some of the cool products that will be coming to Angel AI soon. Free tax filing, payday loans, credit cards, and some amazing tools. My time is up?
Quick question.
Okay, all right, quick question? Yes, sir.
Yes, are you able, this presentation, are you able to email that out to all of the registered? So we,
I'm not sure we can, but just schedule training with us, and we will do training as often as you like. That's better than having a material, because we'll walk you through step by step how to create an account and use Angel AI. Any other questions? Yes.
Does Sunwest have exposure to our borrowing fees from the get-go? Or do we have it with Sunwest or do we take our scenarios and other lenders?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I mentioned, you can start your application through Angel AI. Sunwest will underwrite the loan. It takes you all the way through true approval, and then when your borrower goes into contract, take that loan to any lender of your choice. You can ask Angel AI to give you a Mismo 3.4 file, all the documents that Angel AI has collected so far, and upload that file to any other lender. You're not obligated to use Sunwest just because you're using Angel AI. This is an independent tool, product of Selligence. Use it however you would like.
The question that she's trying to get to, I guess, the final question is, will you pursue that borrower if
No.
it's still our client?
That's still your borrower, yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
Hỏi ông thử bây giờ mình có phải cho broker sign up approve với Sunwest đó để mà dùng Angel AI không? Tức là mình
Good question.
broker phải sign up.
So why is it free?
Cho hỏi ông thử. How broker need to
There's
sign
no
up?
such thing as free lunch, right? But not in the case of Angel AI. Pawan made money from Sunwest Mortgage, and if we get any loans, that's bonus for us. But we want to continue to
Đúng,
offer
mình hỏi
this
à.
product for free. It'll never go
Hỏi
into
hỏi.
subscription model. And
Để
in
mình
the
sign up,
future,
kêu
when
ông
some of
đây,
the
ông
vendors
sign up.
come to the platform, we may make
Để
some
mình
revenue
dùng
from
Angel
that.
AI đỡ.
All right. Thank you all for your time. We'll be at the booth. If you have any questions, come to us and we'll talk about it.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
Thank you, Suresh. If for those of you who have additional questions, feel free to talk to Suresh and the rest of the Angel AI team in the exhibit hall. They will be in there. So let's just give him one more round of applause. He did an awesome job. I hope everyone gets to start using AI. All right, and then without further ado, let's
Tức là
please
broker
give
mình phải sign up với Sunwest.
Alright, let's
Thì mình
please
mới dùng
give
cái
a
system
warm
đó thôi.
welcome to Seraphine, who's with Equity Smart. I'm like, I thought I asked you. Alright, thank you, Seraphine, go ahead.
All right, okay, yeah, I think that works perfectly. How's everyone doing? Good? Okay, awesome. I have to say I love what Sunwest did with Angel AI. That really is the future of where I see things going on in our industry. And like was just mentioned, right? Like those that are willing to really dive in and see how AI can help their business really are gonna have that edge when it comes to our industry, right? So as I was already introduced, my name is Serafin. I am the VP of Operations for Equity Smart Home Loans. And my session is gonna be a little different, okay? We often come to these trade shows or conferences and someone's selling you something. And today I'm not gonna really be doing that. I'm gonna actually be making it about you guys in the audience. So this session, titled right here, Don't Just Survive at Being a Loan Officer, Thrive at Being You, really is about you, loan officers. Or if you're a broker, or if you're just in the wholesale space, this session is for you, okay? So usually I give this talk with our CEO and broker, Paulo Martinez. He's not here today, so I get the pleasure of being able to show a little bit more of what we do here. And I'm just gonna go straight to who we are so we don't miss the point. We are a mortgage broker that partners with other smaller brokers, loan officers, branches to provide a remote experience. All you need is connection to internet, Wi-Fi, and you can plug into our system. It's very much a plug and play. We are approved with over 150 lenders. In fact, all of the lenders that are here today, we are already approved with. We have not just broker relationships, but are non-Del as well in the states we are approved in, except Florida, that's coming soon. And we are, we have this roadmap to be nationally approved in all the states. We pay our commissions daily as well. That's something that we find loan officers find really important, and are continually finding ways to put the loan officer at the forefront of what we do. And that's who we are, really. Pablo built our brokerage to be loan officer centric. Okay, so we are really for the loan officer, and everything that I even have today is only because of our loan officers. So I have to give a lot of credit to all the LOs that have joined us. Now, I kind of got that out of the way. Again, what I wanted to talk about with you all is this thing that happens quite often, where we are trying to figure out ways to level up in our business, right? And sometimes we get stuck, right? It happens, different stages, sometimes at the beginning, sometimes in the middle, sometimes at the end, and always we will come up to it again, right? This feeling of, I don't quite know what's holding me back, right? So this session is going to be a little bit introspective, a little reflective. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to ask you to help me kind of facilitate this conversation, so that way you can get the most out of it, okay? So we're going to start off with a quote that I really like. The version of you that survived is seldom the version of you that will help you thrive. Let me say that again. The version of you that survived is seldom the version of you that will help you thrive. What does this quote mean to you? I'm gonna ask someone in the audience. I usually don't do this, but I wanna make it more engaging. What does this quote mean to you? Can someone raise their hand and just share what this means to them? Or I can pick someone out. Thank you.
The version of you that survived, so basically it's really in front of you, the things that is not you at that moment, that's taking you away from who you are that can go and thrive. So the one that's occupied by the distraction versus the one that pushes you to see beyond the distraction.
I love that. I love that. That's actually much better than anything I could come up with. That's great, right? The things that you need to do to make today happen are important, right? No one's gonna say they're not important. And yet, if we're only doing those things day in, day out, what space are we giving ourselves to plan for a future that we want to live? Right? That's really what this comes down to, right? And a lot of times, the things that we had to do to get to where we are, we trust, we know that they work, and yet there's something about doing those things day in, day out that take us away from that future that we'd like to have, right? And so this quality of survive versus thrive is something I'm interested in, because it's something that isn't a one and done sort of question. It happens actually quite consistently throughout not just professional lives, but personal lives. And so I kind of thought about this, right? And I thought about this idea of survive versus thrive. Survive, this mindset mentality, just make it to tomorrow. Versus thrive, make tomorrow. What does that quality of survive feel like to you? I'm gonna ask someone again in the audience. What does survive feel like? Someone please raise their hand, or yes?
Feels great.
Feels great? Feels great to survive? Yeah, I agree. I love to be alive. I love to be alive. Yeah.
Survive is, you're just making it.
You're just making it,
Yeah,
right?
making it.
You're just making it. Hey, you know what?
Above water, that's it.
Right. It's like the essentials, right? Yeah. I think we've all been in that position before, right? Like, we don't know what exactly tomorrow looks like. We just need to make it to the end of the day. And there's value in that, right? What about thrive? What does thrive feel like? Can someone give me an example? What it feels like to them? Yeah?
Being proactive, take control.
I love that. Being proactive, right? There's a certain level of something we're working towards, right? There's something there that we want, and we're doing something today to make that tomorrow happen. In fact, today and tomorrow are linked to each other, right? Because today is in service of this thing that we want to have happen. Whereas survive, we don't know what tomorrow looks like. We're just trying to make it through the end of the day. So the question that we're asking, why is it hard to move from survive to thrive? Why is it hard? Why is it difficult? And you can also say the counter and say, it's not difficult at all, I'm thriving all the time. Would love to hear, maybe I need to take notes from you. But again, I'm asking, why is it hard? Someone give me their opinion? Let's just ask this gentleman right
It's
here.
a mindset.
Okay. A mindset, right? Can you say a little bit more?
To be able to engage and take it to the next level.
Mm-hmm. Right, so there's a change that has to happen in the mind, right? Okay. Can anyone else give me their idea on the matter? Yeah?
One is a struggle, and the other is growth.
Mm-hmm.
And so the struggle, you're burning a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
You're thriving, you're growing. You're burning energy, but it's a different thing. It's just like, it's different, your trajectory goes.
I love that. So he said that struggle is like built into survive, kind of burning energy, whereas thrive, you're still burning that energy, but it's growth, right? And that, I love that sort of description there, because
So the reason why it's hard is,
yeah,
you know, you're burnt out at the end of the day.
right.
When you're thriving, you have a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just to, you know, where you find that,
Right.
that internal.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Over here.
I add on to what he said, which is really good.
It's okay. It's okay.
I like what he said in regards to surviving and burning energy. I like to add in the thriving is you generate energy because of that growth.
Right. Right. It almost feeds on itself, right? You start to see the impacts or the fruits of your labor, and things start to grow from it, right? Whereas survive, right? It's comfortable. I'll say this: survival, although uncomfortable, is familiar. We all know how that feels like, right? And we all know that it gets us to the next day. That's okay. We can be okay with getting to the next day. Someone just said, survive makes me feel alive, right? And it's true, right? We're alive at the end of the day. Thrive usually means we have to employ a different set of tools, a different mindset to get to something that's not quite certain yet. We don't know what it looks like because we don't have a blueprint. No one told us, hey, this is what success is. And we can actually do it because we usually are stuck in that mode of survive, right? So we're gonna answer that question in the frame of how our mom and pop brokerage shop did it. And I don't say this in the, sometimes people think that we do this to, say we're the best or anything like that. No. Where I'm also asking this question and also want to just be very transparent here that like our company did not start off as a big company. In one of the other slides, you see that we have 470 loan officers now. We're approved in 9 states. That's growing. And yet, we started off as a mom and pop broker shop in Los Angeles, sharing a office, like a wall with a sushi shop, right? And we would invite our clients in, and then they would ask, well, we make a joke and say, we do a consultation and you get the bento box to go next door. Right? You can smell the fried tempura kind of coming into our office, but that's how we started. We started off, small, and we had to go through these changes that were very uncomfortable and yet helped us get to that next level. And so I'm sharing this with you all because I believe in this community. I love to think that, we can all share what works and what doesn't work with each other in the interest of trying to raise each other up and grow and take what works. So I wanted to be able to frame it in something that actually happened and was concrete, so that way it's not just an abstract idea. So really quickly, just gonna run through it. I came back from being abroad. In 2020, the pandemic happened, obviously, interrupted everyone. I was a Peace Corps volunteer And if you guys know what the Peace Corps is, they are a governmental organization that sends volunteers to many host countries around the world. I was in Central Asia, in a country called Kyrgyzstan for 2 years, teaching English as a foreign language, and I got sent back. Got sent back before the government shut down all of the international travel. And I was kind of trying to figure out what to do next. And I had worked with the company in 2015, and Pablo approached me and said, hey, I would love to grow this company. I would love to get it to this next level. And I was a little skeptical at first because Peace Corps volunteer going into the mortgage world doesn't really make sense. In fact, anytime I tell people, they're just like, what, or why are you here, right? And so it's a funny story, but I decided to start as a project manager for the company again. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna do this part-time, we'll see how things go. But the more that I worked there, the more I realized is that there's something special there. And specifically, if you know anything about Peace Corps volunteers, you know that we don't make a lot of money, right? We are service-based, value-based people, typically, and we are willing to work for very little in order to know that the work we do positively impacts our community. So mortgage and that didn't seem like they coincided with each other, to be quite honest with you, right? But the more that I worked at our company, the more I realized how much service there is in our industry. Service to our clients, service to people who don't know actually how to climb up the property ladder, don't even know how to purchase the first home. In fact, they don't even have the language to figure out what they need to do in order to make this happen. And so the amount of service that is in our industry really intrigued me. And the more I saw how much we put loan officers at the center of what we did, the more I realized that I could do that work here. And so after this moment in time, I said, you know what, Pablo, I'm ready. Let's make this happen. We don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna trust ourselves to figure it out. And so we started off, you know, just as many people would, trying to figure out what worked and what didn't work, and figuring out, okay, what is our next step here? So that next question, right, after you kind of set that vision and say, look, we're gonna be nationally recognized, we're gonna be in all these states, we're gonna have over 1,000 loan officers, what do we do now? How do we get there, right? We have to reflect. And a lot of times in our industry, I feel like we don't. I feel like we play whack-a-mole with our problems. We're like, oh, there's a problem here, let me go over there. There's a fire over there, let me put that one out. And oftentimes we're running around day in, day out. At the end of the day, you're just kind of like driving home, no music on. You're like, oh wow, I'm already home. I don't know if that happens to you, but that feeling of being burned out, right? It's very common, right, in our industry. And we don't leave time to reflect. But we had to reflect if we wanted to change something, not just be busy, a buzzword in our industry, being busy. We wanted to be productive, we wanted to actually move the needle, so we had to reflect and ask ourselves, in what ways did our system support us or not support us? Do we even have systems? A lot of times, people's system is themselves. They'll do everything from client care to making the follow-ups to doing all the emails. And as a loan officer, really, sometimes you're just a one-person business, right? Entrepreneur out there, right? And yet, a lot of times, why small businesses fail is because you can't pull that person out the business. You pull them out the business, they're not there the next day, everything falls apart, right? So we had to figure out, did we even have a system and what can we do to create one? How much of our work was actually guesswork? Are we just kind of like figuring everything out as we go with no real clear process in place? Can we provide the same desired outcome every single time? If not, why not? And this happens when you start to, tackle that problem of scale, which is how do we increase the consistency as we get to, more and more volume, more transactions, or just more business. So we had to go back to the basics, and I, invite you all to ask yourselves these questions really. But we had to evaluate our systems and processes with the following: is it consistent? Is it scalable? And is it sustainable? right? Those are all really great questions. Personally, as a Peace Corps volunteer, I'm always concerned for sustainability. Can it outlast you, right? If you weren't there tomorrow, will it still happen? And what emerged for us was this: what got us here won't get us there, right? There's a certain level of capacity that we all have, but when we continue to do the same thing day in, day out, the only input you can really provide in that scenario is more time. Putting more time into something. 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 70-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks. Doesn't really leave a lot of time for yourself, right? Doesn't really leave a lot of time for the business to actually grow beyond yourself either. So we had to accept that hard truth and realize that we had some work to do. So these are some of the things that helped us get through that, okay? One of them is just having the courage to start again. I love this idea. I love the value of courage, not fearlessness. Courage because it's natural to be afraid of things, natural to have fear. In fact, fear is a biological response to something that threatens us. It's there to keep you alive. But yet we get told to not have fear, and I don't think that's quite right. I think a better quality to have is courage. Courage is the quality of being able to do something in spite of fear, to do it scared, right? To make the phone call still, right? To tell your borrower, hey, this is what actually happened in the transaction. Or to call your realtor and say, hey, you know what, this is the development. But that's courage. And having that is important if you're going to engage in this sort of iterative nature of creating your business, challenging your assumptions. What once was true may not be true, and vice versa. But assumptions can limit our decisions. And those crucial decisions, specifically when it comes to how we're going to scale up the business, are very important. So we need to be willing to challenge not just the assumptions around us, but our own assumptions, specifically about ourselves and what we're capable of doing. We need to investigate what's actually needed. And today we're gonna do just a mini little exercise called a SWOT, which is a needs-based assessment, that helps us figure out what we actually need, as opposed to just knowing ambiguously what we think we need. And lastly, we need to turn insight into strategy, into action. It's not enough to know your challenges intellectually. You need to do something about it. And in fact, we need to be biased towards action. A lot of times we can get stuck into this thing called, analysis paralysis, right? The desire or the need to know everything before we can make a decision. And I'm telling you, if that's you, because I'm sometimes in that camp, that's where you get stuck, right? Sometimes we just need to go ahead and do something, take an action. The basis of what we're going to do today is going to be how to figure out what things we can do that give us the most return on that effort. But ultimately, we can't drive meaningful and positive change without clarity. And a lot of us, not just in this room, in the world in general, sometimes lack clarity, right? Sometimes lack that check-in to say like, hey, what am I actually doing, right? Are we waiting for someone to give us clarity, or can we create our own clarity right now? So this is the SWOT exercise. It's a very simple exercise. Some people here may already know it. If this is new to you, the top left over here represents strengths that are internal to you. Top right represents weaknesses, again, internal to you. Those top quadrants are things that you control. The bottom left is opportunities. The bottom right are threats. And these things are external to you that you do not control. So let's kind of go through this and make sure we have a good understanding. Can someone list a strength that they have? Again, raise your hand. Just, a strength that you feel like you have that, helps you in your day-to-day. Yes.
Motivation, making plan, daily plan.
Motivations,
Energy.
making plans, daily plans, and energy. I love that. I love that. That's really good. That's really good. Can anyone add on to that? Yes. Hardworking. There you go. I love that. I always love good work ethic. That's great. How about weaknesses? I know it's a scary one, right? We don't want to admit we have weaknesses because it's like, whoa, I'm in a room of other professionals. I hope they don't judge me. And yet, we all have weaknesses, right? We all do. We all do. I just admitted one to you right now. The need to know everything before I make a decision. That's a weakness, right? Lack of time. Okay, lack of time. I like that. It could also be time management, right? That could be one too, right? Another one I hear quite often is procrastination. Procrastination, right? And these are the things, right, that are so important for us to just like be aware of, because there's this weird quality that happens when we know something's there and yet we do nothing about it. Does anyone know the name for that? It has a word, it starts with a D. Denial. Denial. When we know we have something that's there and we do nothing about it because we rather imagine that we didn't have to deal with it. It'd be so much easier if we didn't have to deal with our problems, right? Great, easy life. And yet, just a fact of living is that we're gonna run into problems, right? It's just the reality. We have to trust ourselves to be able to solve the problems though. It's just hard to do it when you are the person that needs to figure it out for yourself, right? But this exercise is really good in being able to flag that and identify it and just figure out, okay, these are things that hold me back. What is my procrastination telling me? There's this whole concept of self-sabotage that I think is a little bit misunderstood. And the reality is, self-sabotage is actually a coping mechanism for you. It's a way for you to cope with the stress in your life. So procrastination, yeah, sure, can be undermining you, but there's something about it that's comforting to you. Isn't that weird? We don't think about that. We don't think about how our procrastination can actually comfort us. And that's something we have to examine, right? But before I get into that further, right, we want to be able to list out these things, these weaknesses that we have, and work on them. The same thing with opportunities, right? There's opportunity right now, right? Can anyone tell me what an opportunity is that's happening right now in the current market? Lower rates, right? Lower rates. Rates are easing right now, right? And what does that mean? More business, right? More business. People are now being messaged and clued into you. And they're thinking, oh wait, now seems like a good time, right? And threats. What's a threat? Competition, that's a threat, right? The media. that can be a threat. It can be a threat. It's true. And let me tell you why. I mean, I'm not sure if this is what you're referencing, but a lot of times, right? A lot of times what happens is that the media says lower interest rates are happening. It's going to happen later this month in September, right? And yet rates are lowering now, aren't they? And then when the rate cut happens, or doesn't, there you go. You can't take it for granted. Sometimes the rates worsen, right? And then the borrowers are like, hey, that doesn't make sense. And they're like, yeah, you should have listened to me, right? And so the opportunity then becomes educating as well, educating our clients, right? Educating our borrowers. But you can see how this exercise actually puts everything on the table. And what I like to imagine is that we have this like really heavy backpack that we've been carrying with ourselves like for years. We don't know what's in the backpack. We just know it's things that vaguely help us. And with this exercise, it's a bit of taking inventory. What works, what doesn't work, and putting it in a way that we can actually visualize the connections between the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and threats, and start to develop a bit of a roadmap here. And the goal is to get clarity. Get clarity on what I'm strong in, and be able to reinforce those strengths. Get clarity on what my weaknesses are, and have plans to counter those weaknesses, and so on. We want that clarity, because that clarity means that we're coming in intentionally, showing up for our business intentionally, and trying to go into that thrive mindset, right? So we're gonna focus on weaknesses, okay? And I have a selection here. I get enough of, when I wrote this, I would get a lot of loan officers that say to me, I'm not closing enough loans. I say, that's good. That's a good place to start. And yet, you need to get deeper, right? Why are we not closing enough loans, right? So I kind of broke this out into 3 weaknesses maybe you can relate. Weakness 1, inconsistent follow-up with leads. After we close a loan, are we reaching back out to the client and saying, hey, how's it going? Just want to make sure everything's good with you. I'm here for you whenever you need it. How's the new home? No, a lot of loan officers actually will not show back up, right, until it's time to refi, right? Or when they're looking for business. And that's undermining your image. Can someone tell me why that's undermining your image? If you're only showing up when it's time to do a sale, when it's time to close a transaction? Yeah.
They feel like you don't really care about us. And a lot of people who do business with you want you to care about them.
100%, thank you. If you only show up at the time when it's time to do a sale, it gives the impression you don't care. You only care about the sale. And now you look like a shark. You don't look like a trusted advisor. And it looks like you don't care. We want to actually, and the reality is we do care. That's the tragedy there, is actually we do care, and yet we get so busy that we're not making the time to actually take care of the people who trusted us with the biggest transaction that they're probably ever going to make in their lives, right? So these are things you want to be aware of. We have weakness 2 over here, over-reliance on 1 or 2 referral partners. Or weakness 3, lack of a standard process in the client experience. Okay? You can list out all your weaknesses here. Okay? And we're gonna just take 1. Okay? We don't have to focus on all the weaknesses. Just take 1. And when you do this exercise, what I encourage is that you choose 1 that you feel like is something that you can really change into a strength. Right? Something that's gonna give you a return on that effort. So what we did is we took inconsistent follow-up and made that into an action plan. How can we action plan from inconsistent follow-up to something that's not only more consistent, but that reinforces our business? So we have eight pieces here, right? 1 is to segment your existing leads. A lot of times, loan officers are not building their database. And I don't want to make it complicated. What database? It can be a spreadsheet. It can be an Excel file. That's fine. But who are your clients really? And are you treating your clients like separate people? Or is there a one-size-fits-all approach that's happening here? You want to create that visibility for yourself so you know who you're talking to. You want to create a cadence to follow up, something that's standard for you. I follow up once a week, or if someone I've already closed with, for example, I follow up once a quarter, so on. But you want to have a plan for these things and start thinking to yourself, what's something that's sustainable for me to actually do? You want to be able to automate as much as possible. You have lenders out there like Angel AI and SunWest that are providing you tools to be able to do this. Taking time to figure out what those automations are is valuable. Using a texting platform. A lot of CRMs already have texting built into it. And I don't know if you've paid attention to your own personal inboxes, but mine have become just a cesspool of promotional material from lenders. When we're approved over 150, I get bombarded with lender rate sheets. You can imagine, right? So I, find a way to put them somewhere else, archive, But my point is, your clients are going through the same thing. right? Being able to text them is actually a much better way to stay in contact, but I will say this, it better be delivering some sort of value, right? Because really quickly, if you're just spamming text messages, I'm hitting please stop messaging me, and now you're in a do not call list, right? So you wanna make sure you're thinking these things out so that way you're getting the most out of these engagements and interactions, right? So having these plans in place is really powerful to ensure that you have something you're leading them towards. Hey, I wanna be able to review your mortgage statement, make sure that you are getting the best rate right now in the market, and we can actually save you some money because interest rates may be dropping soon. In fact, they're already dropping now, right? Who doesn't wanna save money, right? Why wouldn't they wanna work with you if they've already worked with you in the past, right? We wanna be able to know these things and have specific interactions with the people we're speaking with. Blocking out follow-up power hours. I love this because we actually do this at our company, Equity Smart. We, weekly, we will, block out the time for all of our loan officers just to call. And it's not like a mandate or requirement. It's something that's done in solidarity. Something where it's non-negotiable. We're showing up and we all get on a call together. I mean, we're on, Google Meet, and of course we're muted. And everyone's making phone calls, right? Just doing the things that sometimes we're not making time for, right? And I would encourage you to do this too, because you need to make time for these things, not just wait for there to be an opportunity. Asking for feedback from previous leads. If someone had a great experience with you, great. What was so great about it? Amazing. Would you be willing to write me a Google review? A Yelp review? The social proof is so important in this day and age. If you are not capitalizing on feedback from your clients, you're missing out. At the same time, if someone had a less than great experience, you want to get ahead of that and ask, what could I have done better? And that scares a lot of people because they don't want to hear when they don't do good, right? But when we take the feedback and when we show we can do something with it, people respect that. And we learn from it too, right? So being able to shake the trees out and see what falls is really important there. Strategizing that lead engagement. If we're not getting the results we want, we have to look into what's going on, and how can we do that better. At our company, we have a marketing department that is really good at partnering with loan officers and making sure that we are helping them strategize that lead engagement. And lastly, celebrating every win, because it can be pretty overwhelming when we start out, right? We will do this exercise and we're like, damn, I got a lot of problems. And we want to be able to find a way to reward ourselves for making the progress, right? So we actually have that at Equity Smart 2 rewards and recognition system for loan officers that are engaged in these milestones that we put out for them. But if you're engaged in this, you want to be able to find ways to reward yourself and make sure that you know that you're doing something that's very difficult, right? Which is changing that behavior from just living with those weaknesses to trying to proactively do something about them. One thing here that I want to really land on is that improving one key area can improve everything. Okay, sometimes we feel like we got to do it all. I'm going to tell you, it's not possible. You can't do it all. You just can't. It's physically impossible. You'll never do it all. In fact, you only do a fraction of what you set out to do. And yet, if you just focus on the things that are truly important, you'll get to where you're supposed to get to, I promise you. So just know that focusing on one key area can change everything and can show you that you can be that person that goes from survive to thrive, right? That can actually make your business grow and can create a business that works for you, as opposed to you only being able to make it in day by day. So this is something that I do for our loan officers, and I give them this challenge. It's called Get 1% Better Challenge. And what we do is we choose a focus area. It can be your strengths, it can be your weaknesses, you can choose opportunities and threats.